happy to be upsold to, or were indifferent, didn't mind to. Only 18% said that they actually didn't like it. And I think it's very natural for us to think, oh, it's American, it's corny, our consumers don't like it. But 80% are actually either do like it or happy with it, tolerate it. Yeah. Richard, do you want anything on upselling?
Our managed chains have all got to grips with this now. And I think that the classic line, skew of the week, was our sort of South Wales and southeast of England region that were they did pineapples, and you would think that you would not sell loads of pineapples in a spa environment, yeah. But through the upselling program, we went from selling 183 the previous week in 115 stores to selling 5,000 pineapples.
There you go.
In 1 week. So it is there if you work hard for it, but it's just one more thing to get the people on the minimum wage remembering who are not supposed to be selling underage products to people, another thing to get those people to do. And that's the skill, and that's the hard part.
I'm going to ask the next question only to David and Jonathan. Sit back, gents. If Tesco offered a franchise offer, would you buy it? Would you buy into it?
Well, it's funny, actually. I've got Tesco shares, and I see them as a win-win. If they go bust tomorrow and I lose every penny, it's good news. If they go up, it's good news. It's a different way to look at it. Would I buy a franchise from Tesco? I would need to look at the small print very, very carefully indeed. I'd be interested in the Carrefour franchise.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Technology, how much do you invest in technology? It's hard to put. Well, what's your commitment to technology?
Discussions we have in the business, we all feel we spend an awful lot on technology, and I'm sure we do. You can't not. You have to spend it. It's not a simple case of saying, well, I'm going to spend 1% or half of 1%, because typically the projects are 5-year projects, and you have to set the vision of where do you want to be, and then how do you get there, because it can be quite disruptive. But I would suggest that any business has to be partway through this is where I'm going with IT. It's not just about EPOS anymore. And I think the other challenge that we all find is we have a lot of data, EPOS data, now, and in our business we've got 10 years worth of it archived. I'm not convinced we're really that good at analysing that and taking some real meaningful insights from that data. And I think that is possibly a bigger challenge than, and do we start employing analysts to look at that data, because some of the insights might be quite staggering.
I could recommend a company who could do that for you. One springs to mind. Richard?
I think the usual stuff regarding investment in the EPOS system to allow you to do, buy a pizza, get a garlic but get half price, that sort of stuff. We do deliver quite a huge 6-figure investment every year into upgrading our EPOS system for our retailers. But talking about the social networking stuff and the website stuff, we had a very neglected website up to about 18 months ago, and we've had to invest a significant 6-figure sum, because otherwise we'd have either shut it or do it properly. But it's only useful to you to sell if you've got traffic. So, we've got a lot of recipes on there now. We're doing competitions. We've got to deal with
World Cup
and Summer of Sport and all that to try and drive traffic to get our database. So we've got a great website now. We're generating customer addresses. So in the future, it will enable us to sell product. Okay. But at the moment, we're still in that building stage. But we did realise that we couldn't carry on the way we were.
Yeah.
And that was a painful investment.
Yeah.
I've just bought an iPhone.
Do you know how to use it?
No.
Looks nice though, doesn't it? Yeah, lovely. Yeah. You've got kids, so they can help you.
Emily does.
They'll help you sort it out. Yeah. Is there any? I think we're coming to the last few minutes here. I suppose the question, which last two questions. One, are you optimistic for the next 2 or 3 years?
I think if you run your own business, you've got to be optimistic. Yeah, of course you are.
Okay.
No, absolutely. I'll go back to the IGD prediction.
Yep.
We just need to motivate ourselves and get ourselves in shape to take more than our fair share of that prediction.
Okay. For all the retailers in the room, what would be one message for them? Or three messages, one each.
I think decide what you're going to be good at and make sure you are good at it. I think Mike made a really important point about food to go, but you could make that on anything.
Yeah.
Once you decide what you're going to be good at it, but don't do it half-heartedly.
Yeah.
Put the passion behind it,
Yeah.
invest in it.
Commit to it.
Commit to it, and it will be good.
Yeah.
And you will become famous for it.
Okay.
But if you're half-hearted, it
Yeah.
won't.
Get off the fence. Okay.
Don't be frightened of fresh. Invest in the equipment that you need to deliver a good fresh offer and develop yourself a 5-year plan that's acceptable to you to manage the waste that will generate until your customers start responding.
Great. Thank you.
I think my favourite saying is an old Eskimo saying that if you're not the lead dog, the view never changes.
And on that note,
Well, we got. So that's for the retailers. Thank you, Jonathan. Just add a few smiles. For the suppliers, what message, what request, what do you want to see from suppliers in the next 2 to 3 years?
I think suppliers have to recognise the dynamics of convenience store industry, and we're facing this era of rising costs. Electricity and wage costs in particular have risen sharply, and what was acceptable 10 years ago in terms of margin just isn't now. And it's not about them lowering the cost price; it's just about getting that retail price set at an appropriate level for the convenience industry.
Okay, that's kind of a key one.
Help us with product innovation. Give us, help us with food technologists to help us innovate with the product that we're selling. Help us positively with managing our space, and give us the same cost price as Tesco.
There you go. Right. Jonathan?
I think the store challenge we saw earlier was pretty much highlighted everything. You look at what Hardney could have done with Paul. Brilliant. So I think just work with us.
Good. Okay, well, first of all, I hope you found that useful, informative, interesting, inspiring possibly. And I'd like to ask you all to join me in thanking the panellists, Richard Bennett, David Sands, Jonathan James. I think we're going to give you an extra couple of minutes for your tea and coffee break. I think we're finishing just a few seconds early. I've been asked to share with you the information. The next breakout sessions will start in about 10-15 minutes, 2:50. There are big brands, fine food, selling news and mags in the digital age, and local and vocal. Just bear with me 1 second, please, because I have been asked to read this out. Rural Shops Alliance have worked with us to put together a session on big brands or fine food. Alan Hallsworth, Chris Porter, and Ian Bishop will discuss the way forward for smaller stores, and I think you'll be able to see where that is in Gallery 1. With the onset of the digital age, selling newspapers and magazines is becoming increasingly challenging, and so we have Sarah from Decipher, Fran from Frontline, and Lizzie from News International. I think it's up there where you need to go. And lastly, I hadn't realised, and just a second ago, you get your second dose of Jonathan James, because he is going to be in the local and vocal. And as you can tell, he is very, very shy, so please go and support him to help him overcome his natural shyness. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attendance. Enjoy the rest of the show.